Om Shanti. In today's Murli, Baba is talking about obstacles being the source of power in the slogan. Yes, and Baba says obstacles make souls strong. Therefore, do not be afraid of obstacles. And this is very beautiful because you see, Baba is changing our attitude towards everything. And basically, our attitude towards everything is very distorted. So I once wrote a blog which was titled that comfort zone is very comfortable, but there is no growth there. So, you feel very comfortable and you want to be comfortable. You want everything to be the way you plan it, the way you expect it to be. But then how do you grow without any challenges, without any surprises? If there is nothing new that you face, how do you know better than you already know? So anything that is new and is coming across, or you are coming across that is teaching you something new. And I think when we are on the path of self-discovery, so we are all realizing who I really am and how I really belong to Baba. So every new situation also becomes an instrument where you know yourself better. You realize that you have a power or a capacity or a virtue which you were not aware of, and that is quite powerful. And when you apply it, you can still be okay despite the situation. Or you experience Baba's hand, you experience Baba's support in a new way when there is a situation, and that experience is very enriching. So obstacles are a source of power, and in English it is said that when the situation is favorable, you get happiness, but happiness is very transient. And when the situation is unfavorable, you get power, and power is a little long term. So you must aim for power, and of course you don't invite obstacles, so they come, and it is predestined in the drama that everything that comes your way has a reason. But when you look at it that way, so Baba has given this very beautiful knowledge that every scene in the drama is Kalyankari. So when you look at every scene in the drama like it is a good scene and drama is your friend, and when drama is giving you a challenge and you have an attitude that this is something good for me, then you learn and grow in that scene. And I remember that there was this one sister who was sharing very beautifully that once she had done some work, so some literary work she did based on Gyan, and then there was somebody who stole that work and they published it by their own name. So this thing happens in the world also, and it happened to that sister. And then she went to Dadi, Janki Dadiji, and she was very upset about it. And then she told Dadi that, Dadi, you see, this is so unfair and this is so bad, and stealing somebody's work is not right, and I'm really upset about it. And then Dadi told her one beautiful thing: you had a very good bargain in this. So she said, what bargain did I have? I lost the work, they got the name and credit. What bargain did I get? So Dadi said, ये तो बहुत सस्ता सौदा हुआ है ना. And So what is that Sasta Soda? So Dadi said that, see, she got name and fame, or that he or she, I don't really know. So that person got name and fame and credit, but you got power, and you are capable, so you can write another work. But if you can cross this, then you have the ability to cross such a big situation where somebody takes away all your effort and you can still smile. So with this experience, you can go a long way. And how many times can a person steal your work? You are talented, you can do another work. Yes. So this is also something. So this is one example I'm giving you. And then you see, although we listen to Gyan, but if you really see Gyan and the potential of what Gyan is teaching us, or the power of the points of knowledge, can only be realized in difficult situations when you apply them. Yes, so let's take the example that you are never born, you never die. Yes, so a soul is eternal, imperishable, or that a soul is beyond the effect of the pair of opposites, loss and gain, success and failure, fame and defamation. So until and unless you experience defamation, how do you realize that you're beyond defamation? That defamation can do nothing to you. So we keep practicing soul consciousness, but then when you apply it at the right time, you gain an experience and you realize the strength of what Baba has been teaching you. And you actually realize that you are beyond fame and defamation. And about these pair of opposites, it is always said that it is not defamation that affects you, it is fame that affects you first. And then you get caught in defamation. So when you have faced defamation, you can also stay humble during fame, because you understand that they are transient. And sometimes, people will act that fame does not affect me, but it does. And only when you have handled defamation, you really recognize that fame is transient. And then you are not affected by praise or fame or anything. And when 10 people tell you you're very good, you know that 20 people can tomorrow tell you you're very bad, because they have said so. So you don't mind either. But then how do you come to that realization? Until you first practice and then apply it in a challenging situation. This is why, when, so this is Mama's month, and Mama always used to say that whenever Baba is teaching me something, I must keep it in my awareness. Even though, it is not my situation today. So let's say, Baba is talking about disease today. So Baba is talking about how you look at physical illness. So Baba is saying that when a physical illness comes in the body, then you are happy that there is a karmic settlement which is getting settled. Now there are many children of Baba right now who are not going through any physical illness, or they are in robust health, or the age is in favor. So you are currently not going through that. But then physical illness will not give you an application 1 month in advance. So it comes all of a sudden, right? So when Baba tells me that this is how I have to look at physical illness, and then I have to practice. What practice do I have to do? Practice being bodiless. Practice being bodiless. Practice having, this drawing in yoga power from Baba. And when can you draw yoga power from Baba? When you are bodiless. So even when there is no pain in the body, you must recognize that you are attached to the body and practice that I am a soul completely separate from this body. I belong to Baba, I belong to my soul world, and get fully connected with your man and buddhi there and experience what belonging to Baba means, what being in that world of light means. So when you have practiced this detachment and drawing in power from Baba, and you have done it for several months, years, then what happens? Even when there is a physical illness and it is pulling you, it is pulling your man and buddhi. What does the physical illness do? It pulls your man and buddhi, and then it makes your attention linger on that pain, and then you are not able to focus on anything else but that pain. So if you have practiced to detach your attention from the body, then you will be able to settle the account by drawing in power from Baba. So you see, that adversity, that adverse situation will become an episode of settling the account. But if you have practiced it enough first. Similarly, when you have practiced points of knowledge, when you have practiced the dharana that Baba gives me, then in times of adversity you will be able to apply it and develop power. If you have not practiced it in the laboratory of your mind, and straight away a situation in the world arises, then you will not be able to apply it and gain power. You will get traumatized by it. Yes, so that is why Baba comes at a time in our life where it looks like we are in good, mental, physical, every which way health. So we can waste time. Sometimes, when Baba comes into our life, the only thought, when Baba came into my life, what I thought was, I don't think I need Baba at this time because I'm doing pretty well. My mind is also peaceful. I'm in good health. No relationship challenges. Money is also sumptuous. So Baba comes at a time when we feel we don't need Baba. But Baba is Trikaldarshi, and Baba knows that the drama is moving towards, more and more intense Kali Yuga. And then Baba knows that my children are going to need me in the future. And Baba is making us practice in peacetime so that we don't get startled in wartime. So whenever there is a challenge, if you are well equipped, well trained, well practiced, you don't get shocked. And the thing is, jo dar gaya so mar gaya na. So when you are shocked by the scene, when the scene startles you or puts you into fear and worry, then your chance of losing are greater. So Baba says, I forewarn you, I forearm you. So I forewarn you because I give you the knowledge that this time is going to give you more and more challenges in the future. Every day Baba forewarns us, and not just forewarns us, he forearms us. And he is equipping me with all the tools and strength and points of knowledge and virtues and powers that I will need there. And then Baba says, I teach you how to practice them in the laboratory of your mind. So I give you an idea about what the power to tolerate is, what bodilessness is, and I tell you to practice it in quiet time, in morning Amrit Vela. And then when you practice it, it becomes a sanskar. And when it becomes a sanskar, you can apply it in times of challenge. And then you can cross the challenge and gain experience. So whether you are traumatized by situations or become experienced by situations doesn't depend on the situation, it depends on your state of mind. And Baba is precisely doing that for us. And then today Baba talks about, belonging to one Baba and serving as a trustee. So you see that in the world, people say that I'm doing selfless service. Yes? But until and unless you belong to Baba, there cannot be selfless service. Because what is your motivation? Yes? So when you are doing anything, just think about it. When you're doing anything and Baba is not involved, then you are doing it for the person in front of you. And whether you admit it or not, you have expectations from that person. Yes, so even if you say that I do not have gross expectations, so let's take a very simple example. I give this example many times. I like this example a lot. Let's say you see a beggar every day on the street and you are very sensitive towards the need of that beggar. And then one day you suddenly offer your freshly packed lunch which you are carrying to that beggar and you put it in his begging bowl, and then he throws it away in front of you and he tells you, I need money, I don't need food. So you are hurt. Yes, now why are you hurt? Now you didn't expect a thank you from the beggar. You didn't expect a word of appreciation. Maybe you will say that you didn't even expect the beggar to bless you or give you good wishes, but you at least expect them to receive what you're giving. So, human expectations have no boundaries. And when you do anything directly, then you are directly caught up in that act. And then how they respond or what they do or whether they give it back to you or not will make a difference. Even if you say that it doesn't make a difference, it does. So even when people say that I have unconditional love for my child, I don't believe that. Because even with children, you see, up to a certain age, okay. But if when the child grows up, 13, 14 years, 15 years, you have expectations of them to be a certain way, to do a certain thing, and then they don't do it that way, then you are very upset about them. You're upset with them. So, the way we so humanity without spirituality cannot exist. So where there is no spirituality, humanity is an act of ego. And when that humanity is done with, this sense of ego, when we say ego, what is ego in humanity? Ego is humanity. Ego in humanity is I'm doing it for the other one. And then there is an exchange of sorrow in that relationship. Always. So Baba says, when you do, and you don't even need to have humanity, even when you are performing your very mundane, logic duties, like taking care of children, if you have introduced spirituality in between, what does spirituality mean? Putting Baba in between. I belong to Baba. I am a soul. I belong to Baba. This child, all the souls who I am doing anything for belong to Baba, and I am doing it on Baba's direction. I am not doing it because of them. And I'm not even looking at what they need. I am looking at what Baba is giving me and giving them what Baba is giving me. So if you are doing it like that, then you never suffer. Yes, because you don't customize, you don't put in extra effort. Don't customize, don't put in extra effort. Give what Baba is giving you. And Baba is the ocean, Baba is giving enough. Yes, so when children come to us and they, in the center also, when they tell us that, I need this direction and that direction, we tell them, listen to the course, listen to the Murli, and we will do that for you to the best of our ability. But extra, we don't know whether it can be done, because extra you don't need. But the thing is, if somebody is really interested in their upliftment, they take this road. Otherwise, when they are just, they have come for, so what do you say? They just come and they ask, this is my problem, give me the solution. And then they are not willing to take the course for themselves, understand the Murli or follow the path. Then if you can't do it for yourself, can anybody else do it for you? No. So God helps those who help themselves. So if you can't help yourself, then even God can't help you. How can we help you? So Baba says, this is how you must always do it on Srimad. So whatever Baba is allowing you, Baba has not allowed us to get personal, to get, go the extra mile. No. Just know that every problem that the other one is facing is also a spiritual problem. And until and unless they take care of their spiritual stage, the one problem will get over, but another will come up. So you give them spiritual sustenance. And yes, when it comes to karmic settlements, like you have children or spouse or other family members, so there is some work also that needs to be done. You have to do something for them. That's okay. But you also understand that that's also Baba's Srimad. Baba has told us that you have to live in the family and settle your karmic accounts. So do everything on Baba's Srimad, and then you will be expectation free and disappointment free. So put Baba in between. And when you don't belong to Baba, when you have not surrendered yourself to Baba, then it will always be a direct transaction. And in that direct transaction, there will be exchange of sorrow, whether you like it, expect it, or don't expect it. That's how it goes. And then today, Baba says that, when you are asking for some direction from Baba. So Baba says, one thing is you follow Srimad, another thing is you keep taking directions also. But when you take directions, then you must give your full account before you ask for directions from Baba. Okay, so I'll give you one example. So there was this one sister, and she came to me and told me that I'm suffering from anxiety. What should I do? So I told her, listen to Murli, do Amrit Vela, remember Baba, all that thing which we shared, I told her. Then she would every day come and tell me, I woke up at Amrit Vela also, I listened to Murli also, I'm doing yoga also, but I'm not getting better, I'm not feeling better. So 1 day, 2 days, 7 days it happened. And then I thought, what's wrong with this system is foolproof, it can't go wrong. And then I told her, okay, so you do all of this, and then what do you do in the rest of the time? So what do you do all day? So she said, I watch Netflix. So I said, all day? Yes, all day. So I said, then no amount of Amrit Vela can help you. So you see that if you don't tell what you do with your time, what are the thoughts you are having, what are you doing with your money, what are you doing with your energy, then how can, how it is very difficult to gauge what's going wrong. If you don't share what's going wrong, how can Baba tell you how to make it right? So, there are children who tell us that this person is not good to me and they are abusive and they torture me and they say this and that, but they don't say what they are saying to that person. They don't share their whole chart about how their conduct is with that person. And I will give you one example. So there was this lady who told me that my husband, whenever he's going out of the house and I tell him something, he just turns back and he slaps me and then leaves. So he's very abusive. So I said, did he slap you today morning? She said, yes. I said, tell me in detail what happened today morning. So she said, he wore a dirty shirt, and then when he was going out, I stopped him and told him, change the shirt and go. And then he turned around and told me, why do you stop me when I'm going out of the house? And he slapped me. And then I said, has it happened before? She said, yes. Every time this is what happens. Whenever he's going out, I don't like the way he's dressed, I tell him. So I said, if he doesn't like that you have an opinion about his shirt, why do you have to have an opinion about his shirt? Let him go the way he wants to go. Let him be ill-dressed, bad-dressed, whatever he wants to be. Why do you care? So she said, no, I get very affected if he goes out without being well-dressed. So I said, you have to work on that. You have to work on that. When you realize that somebody doesn't have boundaries and somebody doesn't know how to treat somebody well, or somebody doesn't know how to respect someone else's opinion, then you have to set your own boundary and you have to know that your opinion is not appreciated and you stop giving it. And then she said, no, if I change this, then the whole problem would be solved. But you see, it's not okay if he goes with a wrong shirt put on. So I said, then it is okay, he slaps you, is it? So you see that if you look at the whole, the problems that people are going through, then if they don't tell you the whole story, you don't get to know where the problem really is. So Baba says that you must give your whole chart. So, the chart of what do you do with your tan, man and dhan. Because, sometimes, it is not about gross things. It is not just about gross things. Like maybe in this case, it is about what you're speaking. But sometimes it is about subtle things. Like, that day Baba was telling that anybody who buys impure food cooks impure food and eats impure food, they all incur sin. So, sometimes the question of sin and punya is very subtle, it's not that gross. It's very difficult to figure out apparently. So, apparently, it looks like, we are speaking the right language and we are doing the right thing and we are following the external discipline. Now, let me tell you about how the system of bhog started in the yajna. So, earlier there was not a system of bhog because it was the wealth earned by Brahma Baba that was being used, right? And then because it was hard earned money and then there was nothing impure about it, and there was no contribution from those who were coming. It was Brahma Baba's wealth and that was being used. And then everything was going on well and there was no system of bhog. But then slowly, gradually, everything evolved, and then there was, this system where the beggary part reached and all that Brahma Baba had got over. And then there was this part where children who came from the grihasth, they started contributing something to Yajna Seva. And when that started happening, there was still no system of bhog. And then there started coming up problems. So, some or the other obstacle would come in the yajna. And then Shiv Baba was asked through Sandesh, so what is the reason that, these obstacles are coming up in the yajna? Then Baba said that because you are not offering bhog, so you are consuming everything that's coming directly. So, whatever people are earning through unfair methods is also coming, or not in Karam Yog, that's also coming. And then until and unless you offer bhog, it cannot be purified. So then Baba said that if you want to purify it, you sacrifice it to Baba first, and then you offer bhog and then consume it. So this is a very subtle karmic law that Baba taught us during that time. So similarly, you see, food also can be the source of problems, or money. So when you are giving your money to somebody who is not following purity in their life, then the burden of their karma is being shared by you, because your money is sustaining them, so their karmic burden comes on to you. So this is also a very subtle karmic law which Baba has told us. So Baba says that there are gross things, when you tell everything to Baba and take directions, then sometimes, the problem is very tiny. Like I told you, just not speaking the right thing at the right time, or speaking the wrong thing at the wrong time. So it could be a simple problem like that, or it could be a deep karmic thing, like you're not understanding that, when you belong to Baba and you're not observing physical purity, then that's the reason for obstacles. So purity of wealth, purity of body, purity of mind, these could be the reasons for the obstacles in life. Purity of food could be the reason. So Baba says, until and unless you share, what is the whole thing about. So, sometimes children will say, we follow all Shrimat. I take pure food, I remain celibate, I do everything, but I don't experience strength. Why? No Amrit Vela. So if no Amrit Vela, how will you get strength? Yes, so that's the time to fill your apron if you're sleeping at that time. So if you tell the whole thing, then the problem can be diagnosed. and then a solution can be given. Now, there is also another aspect to it. One thing is, sharing everything and finding out what's going wrong. Another thing is taking directions about how to make it right. So you see that if somebody is not open enough to give the chart and take directions, tell everything and take directions, then I don't know whether they would be very honest about following what the directions Baba gives. So this is also there. So if there is no transparency in this, then it is just a fake attempt. So when you say I want to change, it's just a fake attempt. So Baba says one thing is Shrimad. So one thing is, you listen to the Murli and whatever Baba says in the Murli, you do that. Second thing is, we all have an instrument teacher. In your case, it is me. Yes. So we are always given an instrument teacher in the yajna. So when an instrument is given to you, then you submit your chart to that instrument, and then you take directions and improve, and be very honest about your chart. So that is something that one needs to do for improvement. And then today Baba says that people in bhakti, they do bali. So they say hum bali chad rahe hain, we are sacrificing ourselves. And then what they do is they kill their body. Yes. So do you know that these days they only kill goats, but earlier they used to kill their own bodies also, when the bhakti was relatively, more stricter. At that time, there was this well in Kashi, and in that well, people used to, in the name of Shiv Baba, they used to just, take a dive into that well, and there used to be a sword in between, and they used to sacrifice their life in that way. Now that has been banned. So Baba says that is Mahapap. So Baba says if killing someone else's body is a sin, killing your own body is also a sin, and a big sin. And Baba says that's not Bali. But Baba says, but I ask you to give Bali. So I ask you to sacrifice yourself. And how do you sacrifice yourself? By belonging to me. Yes. When you sacrifice all your I and mine, yes, I think so, this is my sanskar. No. You think what Baba thinks. Your sanskar is what Baba's sanskar is. You cannot have a different sanskar from Baba. You cannot have a different thought from Baba's thought. Yes, my idea, my relationship, no. Your all relationships are with Baba. Now you are a trustee and you are serving Baba's children. So Baba says this is how you sacrifice yourself. So you sacrifice your ego, that is I and mine. You don't kill your body because that is Mahapap, that is killing. Yes. So killing in the name of God has to stop. And then Baba says it's not killing, but it is sacrifice by belonging to me. And do you know this word sacrifice is very beautiful, because sacrifice means to make sacred. The meaning of the word sacrifice is to make sacred. So how do you sacrifice or purify or make everything sacred? by removing your I and mine from it. Because that is what is dirtying everything. And in Hindi, Baba says, Jahan mera kaha, wahan mela hua. So when you withdraw that I and mine, it gets purified. Then you apply Baba's thoughts, Baba's directions, Baba's sanskars. You do it as a trustee, it becomes pure. Every action becomes pure, every thought becomes pure. Okay, so this is how you sacrifice, and this sacrifice Baba wants. Om Shanti. Let's thank Baba for some time.